My friends, what is going on? Hope your week is going awesome so far. First things first, awesome day in the markets for AMC and GME. So that's what I wanted to primarily get in here and talk about. Also, too, I want to address a little bit about what's going on with BBIG as well. Before we jump into the video, you guys know the deal. I'm not a financial advisor. Everything I'm doing is for educational and entertainment purposes only. You need to trade your plan. You don't need to trade my plan. You don't need to trade your favorite, YouTuber or Twitter, personalities plan. You need to do what's best for you. That's why I'm always preaching education and making decisions that are going to be best for yourself, where you can put your head on your pillow at night and be able to go to sleep. So do whatever is best for you. I'm just trying to guide you and tell you about what I do. And if you like what I do, feel free to follow along. And if you don't like what I do, then feel free to do what's best for you. Because like I said, I think that's the most important thing that you need to do. So first things first, let's jump into some charts. If you haven't done so already, please follow me on Twitter, Colin_Gladman. Easiest way to always ask me questions, get my thoughts. And anytime I see big news coming out or anything along those lines, I'll make sure to try to keep you guys as up to date as possible when it comes to that. So jumping into the charts. First things first, let's look at AMC. So had a really nice day today, up 14.34%. I tweeted out yesterday talking about the RSI. So right here, we opened up to a gap down with a massive red candle. RSI got way oversold all the way down here to 17. And there are a bunch of people in my mentions upset about it, and that doesn't matter and everything along those lines. And that is just not true, as proven today. So the RSI matters a lot. It's one of the few indicators that virtually every person who knows anything about technical analysis is going to be using on a regular basis. So what the RSI does is the relative strength index. It's basically telling you how the momentum is looking in the stock. When a stock is drastically oversold, it's going to be down here in this territory. Basically, anything below 50 on the RSI is considered oversold. Anything above 50 on the RSI is considered overbought. And so you can see anytime it gets outside the acceptable ranges, whether it's, too hot, as in right here, or too oversold, as in right here, you're going to see bounces or pullbacks depending on what you're looking at. And then there's different time frames on the RSI. So the intraday one that I was talking about here is going to be on the 15-minute. And then you can, go out to the 1 hour, the 4 hour, or the daily. So when I'm looking more micro, I usually do the 5 or the 15-minute. Mainly the 15-minute, I would say, is the one I use the most when I'm looking on what's going on today. When I'm looking more macro, I usually do the 1 hour or the 4 hour or the daily. Mainly the daily is what I try to look at when it comes to macro. But the last time something like this happened, as I tweeted out once again, was right here. Almost the exact same thing that kicked off our run all the way from the low of 1290, right at 1290, all the way up to 34. We opened with a big gap down and a massive red candle that sent the RSI down here to 15 at that point in time. Actually, 1450 actually. And then we started just, day after day after day after day after day, as you can see, running all the way up. Okay. Like for instance, when this gap down happened right here, the RSI was still considered hot. That's why they were able to keep pushing it down. So when this gap down happened, the RSI was so oversold, virtually had no choice. So we pretty much traded like a wet blanket, if you will, sideways on all day yesterday. But it's just, you knew a move. Well, maybe you didn't, if you think the RSI doesn't work. But I knew a move like this was going to be coming, that was going to get this RSI at least back to the neutral range, if not more towards the bullish range. So overall, things look very good for AMC right now. Once again, people were freaking out the one day that we had that the overall market was good, but AMC didn't do well and everything like that. And my friends, those are the times where you just gotta chill a little bit, okay? One day is not enough to go, okay, AMC is completely diverging from SPY or from GME or anything along those lines. You need to see a pattern. Any one day doesn't mean very much of anything to me, unless some type of big catalyst comes out or anything along those lines. But if it's just a quote unquote, normal trading day, with manipulation across the board, all that kind of stuff, every stock's manipulated, then you're going to, let me put it this: don't jump to conclusions or make assumptions at that point in time. We want to see an actual pattern developing from either a divergence or trading with it. So once again, today entire market was ripping, and AMC and GME outperformed the rest of the market. So just like it underperformed it the other day, it overperformed it today, to be relatively neutral with it. So you just gotta chill out a little bit. Now, so going into tomorrow, as you can see, RSI is getting a little hot. So what I'd really like to see is tomorrow morning, we open up maybe with a little bit of a flush pull down. Let's get this bad boy back down into the 50 range, and then we continue, moving on up. I think I saw max pain was right around 1250. So if we had to push down to, let's say, like right in here, like, let's just call it, $11.25, and then started recovering back up towards that 12.50. That type of move is what makes a lot of sense to me, heading into Memorial Day and everything like that. So I do think we'll see a little bit of a pullback. I think I saw that the jobs report was coming out tomorrow. Obviously, that's not anticipated to be great news there. So that type of news could, pull the market back a little bit. But then I was also seeing today that there were reports coming out that, like the Fed believes, inflation's now under control and everything along those lines. So I feel like, man, there's going to be a lot of pushing and pulling still going on here. And once again, uncertainty, not really having a good idea of which, direction the market might come in. Bears feed off the uncertainty of not going, bulls, good or bad news. Once they know what's going on, then they feel confident about where their money needs to go to make the investment. When there's uncertainty, bull money stays on the sideline and bears are able to push everything down. So, that's going to be kind of what I'm looking for tomorrow. So I'd like to see a little bit of a pullback. Let's just look at a fib here real quick. So, a reasonable pullback. The most bullish pullback is a pullback. Look at that. I said 11.25. So the 382 would be a bullish pullback right here to about $11.29 before we saw continued movement upwards. So that's going to be what I'm looking for overall. Seeing how, once again, we made this new lower low. Now, what this could also be is a little mini Elliott wave sequence. Let's draw a fib here. If this goes to this, no, basically came down to like the 885 almost. So that would retrace a little bit more. So usually that 618 is really where you want to see the retracement. And once again, you can see how it's trading right alongside that. And then once it, a gap down, now we're pushing up and we finished the day right at the 0.5. So like I said, all this makes sense. So pushing up over 1250 B. Yeah, so pushing up to the overall, 3.82. That makes a lot of sense, by the end of this week. So that's going to be what I'm looking for. Of course, eyeballs are going to be on volume. We had better volume today. RSI on the daily, plenty of room to run there, not worried about that. So we got a really nice candle today on above average volume, back up to that 53 million shares traded. Everything looks great. Coming over here, giving a cycle chart update. Everything's looking pretty good right here. I'm still really trying to figure out, where I think we might be in this bad boy. It looks good. It's just, like I said, overall, we want to make sure that, we're not making too many, lower lows. I was hoping, this low right here is definitely a little bit of a pause for concern for me. You can see over here in June, it never really pulled back quite that far. But like I always said, not everything's going to be one for one. When it came down here, where it essentially made its double bottom, it broke a little bit low, and we got a little bit lower here. So, like I said, when it comes to like the cycle theory or anything along those lines, I believe in the high frequency algorithmic trading, which gives similar patterns and cycles. The entire market moves in cycles. So we've got a similar pattern playing out. What we don't have is in June of this past year, it was a very bullish time. Obviously, we're in a very bearish market now. And like I've said multiple times before, if you followed me, I believe that's how they were able to kill the squeeze in November, is because the market all of a sudden turned super bearish with war and inflation and everything along those lines, and the Fed getting busted for insider trading. And of course, they sold at the exact perfect top. Shocker, I know. But so I'm constantly keep watching, constantly keep tracking. So, like I said, at the end of the day, all I can do is, sit back and watch. And we'll see levels. I'm still quite confident in the fact that if we get up here and are able, to break above this like 2250 or so or anything like that, we could really potentially see some fireworks. But overall, this entire sequence is taking much longer to play out than the pre-June sequence. We got a lot of dates coming up. I'm not a big dates guy or anything like that, but between AMC shareholder meeting, between the GME meeting, the GME earnings, the GME split, there's lots of good things. Also, I don't talk a lot about GME, but let's look at it today. So I tweeted out on the more macro standpoint. It came down here, basically had a perfect touch on the 618. You can see it was trading around it, finding support. It initially got its bounce in the golden pocket, and then it's just a big old massive Hulk candle today. It really doesn't get any more bullish than this candle. It's just a green block, if you will, and on way above average volume. So 10 million shares traded today, where on GME, like 1 to 2 million shares traded each day is going to be what's on average. When it sees really big movement, that's going to be on like 15, 24. So this was just a great day for GameStop. I tweeted out multiple times before how I do think right now GameStop is set up for better moves, because they've got the catalyst of the split coming up, and they're launching their NFTs and everything along those lines. So they got better things going on right now, in my opinion, and that's why I've always bought and hedged with both. So I don't care which one goes first. I don't care if they both go. I don't care if one goes and the other one goes or whatever. Like I said, I'm hedged with both. So it's kind of same thing though. I'll bet I'm going to go down here to like the 15 minute. If you're willing to bet, let's pull up the RSI on it. Yeah. Look at that. You can see. I said, people. RSI doesn't matter. Okay. Okay. So the RSI still kind of sitting, in hot territory. So if we could, same thing, get a little bit of a morning flush and continued movement, that would be awesome. One of the great things about GameStop, unlike AMC, is it didn't make a lower low from its pullback. Okay, so it does have an uptrend that is continuing, and it's got an uptrend that's continuing on good solid volume. So for GME, a potential 3-wave sequence is still very valid. So what that would look like, get rid of this fib. Wave 3 target. So if you look at it from a standpoint of, also too, I'm not a massive Elliott wave guy. Gavin May, I believe is his name, on Twitter. Follow him. He is a wizard when it comes to Elliott wave stuff, and he posts good videos and everything along those lines. So shout out to my man Gavin when it comes to Elliott wave stuff. So it would look like, you'd have a big wave 3, pull back wave 4, and 5. So most common target on your wave 3 is going to be the 1.618. So overshot that a little bit. So that would be, sending GameStop up to like the 276 area. Then we would have, once again, this is on just kind of, most bullish case scenarios. Whoops. I need to measure it from here. So your bullish case scenario would be a pullback to the 382. And then a wave 5 typically equals wave one. So I'm just eyeballing this here, guys. I don't get caught up on dates or anything like that. Just kind of giving you an idea. And we can also do that with, dang! That sucks. Just deleted that. 1, 2, 3. Come up here. 4. Once again, like I said, I'm just kind of eyeballing that. Call it up, anywhere up there around the 500 range, but it can be wave 1. It's usually 0.68 or so it could look something like that too, like up to 327. So somewhere in that ballpark. As you guys know, volume is king, all that good stuff. So that's just an idea. I'm not saying that's what's going to happen. That's just going to be a trading idea. It's something to look at. Once the big test will be once we get to the top where it peaked out before at like 198. If it has a big breakaway through there, then that would definitely confirm that wave 3 is going on. But once wave 3 starts, the volume starts coming back in. So GameStop's looking real good right now. Last but not least, BBIG, man. And this, man, I really try to keep emotions out of everything, but this stock and this management, not the stock's fault, it's management's fault, but I mean, how they went about everything that happened today, it really pisses me off. It's annoying that, they're obviously very retail owned and everything like that, and the fact that they don't have a presence on Twitter notifying shareholders of what's going on or anything like that really drives me crazy. That's kind of why I tweeted out. I try not to make decisions when I'm super heated, and I was super heated when I saw that today because it's just like, man, get it together, BBIG. Now, if you still believe in the play, then what's another month? What's the reality of it? But I'm personally am pretty sick and tired of management on this play. It's going to open up right here at this yellow line tomorrow, roughly, give or take. I mean, that's where it finished in after hours today at this kind of $2.38 level. So as of right now, what I'm thinking my plan is I'm just going to be much more aggressive on my covered calls. So my average share price on BBIG is $2.50. I'm still very confident in that, and I am still confident the tide is coming and all that kind of stuff. And make sure you do your research on it, on all these filings and everything along those lines, because I would be lying if I said I 100% know what's going on. I know it was delayed today. Okay, so I don't know if we still don't have an exact date. It's been delayed multiple times. Like I said, for me personally, it's just, especially when on earnings on Monday, they were still talking about it and it's going on. And, I know people are like, well, the SEC came in. That's great. Don't notify your shareholders through the freaking SEC. Have some way where you're out there and you're talking about it. Hey, guys, heads up. We're going to be delayed, but here's what's going on. I mean, communicate with what's going on. We shouldn't be finding out through SEC filings or anything along those lines. So that's my big problem with BBIG is management. And if I don't believe in your management, then I don't believe in your company, and you're not going to be getting any of my money. So I'm probably not just going to wake up and dump my shares. In fact, I can 99.99999% guarantee that's not going to happen. That's the emotional thing to do, and I don't emotionally trade. I'm going to make it worth my while. I do think, kind of around that $2 range, especially if we get some good news that, it's going to happen in a month or anything like that. Or, they said before the end of second quarter. So obviously end of second quarter is end of June. So, somewhere in the next month, it's going to happen. And like I said yesterday with AMC, the absolute biggest shakeouts are always going to happen before the biggest moves. So because I have a good, cost, basis and everything like that, what my plan is as of now, what I'm thinking as of now is I'm just going to start. So I always say, like when I do my cover calls on AMC, I do like a 70-30 split where 70% is my moon bag, 30% of my shares are just constantly doing the wheel strategy. With BBIG, I think I might flip that. So I'm going to go pretty hardcore and fast on, and let me just look at, so I'm going to go to option strat, build. This is a great little site when you just kind of need to pull up a plan, build a covered call. So, Like I said, I'll probably just get aggressive, and I probably won't try to, roll or get out of my shares. I'm not going to try to roll up and out to get out of my, if my shares start to, get taken away or anything along those lines, then sorry about your BBIG. You lost an investor because your company management can't get its stuff together. But I am going to probably start getting more aggressive, like the strike for next week. Once again, I'm at $2.50 a share. I have 20,000 shares, so like the $3 cover call for next week is 21. So real quick math on that. 20,000 shares, 70% of those is 14,000 divided by 100. That's 140 contracts times 21. That's $2,940 in premium. I'm probably just going to start doing that and using all my premiums to start buying as much AMC and Gamestop as I can. So that's kind of what I'm looking at for BBIG. Let's go from our most recent low from a fib standpoint here. So yeah, we're pretty much probably going to come down here, touch the 786 at 227. A good place if you're looking to add is going to be right here. Pretty much anytime BBIG comes down here right in this, $2 to $2.20 range. It's had nice reactions ever since its big breakout in January. So, and realistically, even before that, it has gotten as bad as $1.11, and this news is pretty bad as far as I'm concerned. It's not the end of the world, but as far as the hype that you had behind what was going on versus the complete letdown today, I think it's about as bad. And it happened in after hours. People couldn't sell even if they want. That kind of stuff is just terrible managing of the company as far as I'm concerned. So I'm going to play cover calls pretty aggressively, get out as much premium as I can, make a little bit of money on this deal, and then see you later. But that's what swings do. This is not a company I ever planned on holding for the super long term. And it's going to stay that way right now. So that's pretty much everything that I'm seeing. So a little bit of pullback and hopefully continued movement on AMC and GME. We got the jobs report coming out. But man, so many catalysts coming out. Super pumped for Top Gun Maverick this weekend. Bought a whole bunch of tickets today. Taking the whole family Friday night on the Epic screen, IMAX screen, all that kind of stuff. So a lot of good things coming that way. GME, they're launching their NFTs. They got the split coming up, their meetings. Make sure you vote for all that kind of stuff. And once again, follow me on Twitter. Easiest way to keep up with everything that I'm doing. So I will see you guys in the next update. Have a good one.